In this video, we are going to learn how to use the parametric plotting tool. This is the setup for the second part of the lab. So as you can see, I have the long spring attached to the device. So at the top of the spring, I have the spring attached to a textbook, and that is hanging off of a table. And the bottom of the spring is attached to the screw. So my dongle is plugged into my computer and my device is turned on. For this lab, we want to use the accelerometer and the force sensors. So what you will do is give the device a small force in the Y direction and let it oscillate. So once you have that going, you can press record. And you can see the Y component of the acceleration and the force are both oscillating in time. So I'm going to let this go for about 20 seconds. And then I'm going to press stop. So once I have my data, what I want to do is look up here to these buttons. So right next to the analysis mode, zoom, and move buttons, I see a series of two buttons. One is regular chart mode, the other one is parametric plot mode. So that is what we want to choose for this lab. So if I click on that, it takes me to this screen. So what you can see here is that instead of time, I have the accelerometer on my x-axis. I also have force on my y-axis. If I wanted to change this, what I could do is uncheck the accelerometer box and recheck it. Now you can see that I have the accelerometer on the y-axis. So whatever you choose second ends up on the y-axis. For this lab though, we want the force on the y-axis, so I'm going to change that back. The other thing that we want to do for this lab is click on this tools button under the plot. And so what you can see is that under the accelerometer, norm has been chosen. So that means that all three components of the accelerometer have been combined, and that is what is showing up on this bottom plot. So if I click on this drop down menu, I can choose norm, AX, AY, or AZ. Since we want to look at the effects of the force in the Y direction on the acceleration, we only want to look at the Y component of acceleration. So if I check on that, I now have the force on the Y-axis and the Y component of acceleration on the X-axis. The next thing you want to make sure is that you are under the analysis mode. And then what you will do is on this plot on the bottom, you're going to highlight a section of the plot. And you can see that this is what your force versus Y acceleration plot will look like. Unfortunately, under analysis mode, we cannot find the slope of this line. But if you go to zoom mode under the magnifying glass, it gives you a crosshair. So what you can do is pick 2 points on your line, and you can write those down, and you can do the same for another point up here, and you can manually find the slope. So once you find the slope, you'll be able to experimentally find the mass and compare that to the known value of the mass. So this is how to use the parametric plotting tool. I hope that helps, and I will see you soon.